Now I'm at the point you wanna be with me. I'm vibing out at a higher frequency, cause everything that I want and I'm gonna be, it's when I wake up, that's when I start to dream. Someone you love is talking down, here is the plan. Let it fall through like a handful of sand. Nothing happens overnight, what you must understand. If you dwell on the bad, then you don't stand a chance. Something you want upset, saying why it ain't mine yet. That's because now you have yet to change your mindset. People don't put their mind to rest while they're so wired. A lot of people go to sleep and wake up tired. Power of positivity and persistence. Say that I can, we'll just sit back and witness. Make an impact when our time is done. Make money, help people, and have lots of fun. Whoa.
Welcome to Office Hours, hosted by legendary sports executive, entrepreneur, and investor David Meltzer, where the brightest entrepreneurial minds in business, sports, and entertainment get together to talk about success, failure, and everything in between.
I have no self-worth tied up in Gary Vee or Gary Vaynerchuk, the entrepreneur. My self-worth is fully and utterly 100% attached to how I treat human beings.
I think love is the answer to everything as well. Love and compassion and justice and fairness, and which are all aspects of love.
The most important question anybody can ask is, what would I do and love every day, even if I were failing?
Take a deep dive into the mind of some of the world's most impactful guests.
And the reality is, life here on Earth is very short compared to eternity, and we don't spend a lot of time thinking about eternity and what that looks like.
People get new computers, they get new iPhones, they upgrade their apps. But when's the last time we upgraded, the technology that's created all of these things?
So I always challenge my audience and people I talk to about, sometimes is there a door in your life you have to close for other doors to open?
To share their strategies and tools to dominate their respective fields.
When we repeat anything, whether it's a constructive good pattern or a destructive bad pattern, our brain reinforces it just like a muscle.
All a belief is a story that you've said over and over again. Maybe you caught it from someone else or you had a specific experience.
Know who you are, know what you want, and make adjustments trying to get there.
David Meltzer hosts Office Hours.
I am good. Welcome, everybody. It's time for Friday Training. We've been over it for only 6 years. I got Nick of WOM setting up the room. Let's just start over real quickly, Nick. We're going to be doing a training on prioritization for success. Understanding that there's two things to prioritize. We need to prioritize our non-negotiable behavior, shit that we do every single day, the habit machine, and then circumstantially be able to prioritize as time, emotion, and value changes instantly when we come up with that well-developed plan to allow God to laugh at us. We had a fabulous time yesterday at our SoFi Mastermind and VIP dinner. Amazing people, Van Cook and Bree Diamond and Miguel, just enormous amount of knowledge. Bucky and Leah, Jill Schulman just brought it. So if anybody wants to join us, we will be next at the Masters doing the Mastermind. I'm the master of the Mastermind. And we'll have an amazing group of people: Josh Luber, Tim Story, Marshall Falk, Chris Carter. There's a ton of people around. I think Josh Allen's going to be at the TPI event. So everybody come and join us at the Masters. Then to Nashville, we'll do our famous fire walk with Bucky O'Neill and the legends of facilitation of transformation. And then to the NASDAQ, everybody. It's going to be for the Napoleon Hill Foundation as chairman of the Napoleon Hill Institute. Come and join us at the NASDAQ for an incredible mastermind, for a cocktail party, or just for the VIP dinner. We'll be there in New York, then off to Boston for a speech and a VIP dinner as well, and then to Denver for a keynote as well and a VIP dinner. So we got a lot packed into the next 8 days or so. That's how we get to 200 cities. Nick of Guam. Why don't we, is there anything I missed or anything you want to add? Oh, if you want to join our private networking group, email me. If you want to come, email me, david@dmeltzer.com. If you want the exercises and guides from today, this is a valuable tool of prioritization, prioritizing the non-negotiable and negotiable behaviors that you have, creating the habit machine where necessary, and prioritizing according to time, emotion, and value that changes. Then just email me. I'll give you the exercise and guide from today so you can halfway listen in and stay on board, or be fully engaged and ask us questions for the second half. Grand rising to everybody. We appreciate everyone here today. Nick of Guam, anything else before I move into the actual training? You got it, my friend. We are looking forward to it. And yes, everybody has the same amount of energy. Stop interfering with it. That's what I always say. What's up with that weak voice, Nick of Guam? You got to get rid of the morning voice, get fired up. It's time to go. You're 24 years old. It's way too early in the season not to be at your prime. So let's get started with prioritization. I appreciate you prioritizing this every Friday. I've been doing it for 26 years. You've been doing it almost 5 years now. So it's a big part of your life and mine, and we appreciate pouring into our community. In our always on world, our feeding is constant. We often mistake movement for meaning, thinking that if we stay busy, we must be making progress. So many people in the world are so busy working, they forget to make money. But the truth is, productivity without direction, without the definite purpose, leads to burnout, to the lack of fulfillment, to separation from the infinite, abundant, unified system of infinite information and infinite power that we all belong to, that I just suggested to Nick to stop interfering with. We say yes to too many things because we're spread so thin and we have so many options, opportunities, and touches of favor. We don't recognize all that we're given in this abundant world, and we see ourselves as being punished, not protected by the enormous amount of change and opportunity with the time, emotion, and value that instantly changes when we come up with this non-negotiable plan. And we wonder why we're interfering with our infinite amount of energy and information. We wonder why we're exhausted, why we're empty, unfulfilled, and separate. I'll tell you, we have the antidote. We're going to teach it today. It's called prioritization. It's the antidote to feeling overwhelmed and procrastination, two of the outcomes that occur when you don't understand this abundance and connectivity that you have. Stop mistaking movement for meaning. It helps us slow down, reflect, remind, remember, and recollect to choose wisely in a divine direction, evaluating the detours as divine in their nature and allowing for divine time in the construct of the man-made common denominator of time, 24 hours each day, guaranteed, except the last day of your life. It's not about doing everything. It's about doing the right things aligned with your intention, saying, doing, thinking, feeling, and believing, aligned in your divine. When we align our decisions with our values and purpose and a long-term directional of divinity, we just don't get done what needs to be done. We move closer to the life we actually want to live, which is the life we want to live is to feel alive. So many people are talking about longevity today, and this is the point. It doesn't matter how long you live if you don't feel alive, if you don't apply your why. If you live like a tube till you're 120 years old, food in, food out every single day, who the hell cares? Stop mistaking the movement for the meaning. The first thing that we have to understand is the foundation of prioritization. If you don't know what's important to you, then you'll spend your time on what's most urgent to others and not take into consideration the timing and risk tolerance, not take into consideration your own core values of harmony, harmonizing personal, experiential, giving and receiving values each day. Understanding we have set a foundation of non-negotiable behavior each day, prioritizing what we are committed to doing every day, every other day, every third day, every week, every month, every year. Prioritization begins by getting clarity, balance, and focus on your values and aligning it in your divine direction with your daily activities and with your why, your purpose, applying it, not searching for it. You're already part of it. We've already said that we all believe that there's something bigger than us that has all the information that's ever existed and all the power that ever existed. And we, as human beings in this meat suit that we're given at birth, we can't handle all that information. We can't handle all that energy. So we have to regulate it and have and utilize prioritization to regulate what's important to us according to our values. I mean, so many managers that constantly felt pulled in every direction, the middlemen in every deal pulled in every direction. They're responding to emails, attending meetings, trying to quote unquote do it all. And yet all they're feeling is movement, not meaning. But once this manager defined her top 3 values, growing, family, and integrity, she began saying no to tasks that didn't align with what she was doing, saying, thinking, feeling, and believing. Her focus sharpened and her harmony and fulfillment increased exponentially. The clarity on the harmony of what matters most is the root of effective prioritization. You can't prioritize what you haven't defined. And we can define it by time. You can define your prioritization by saying, this is something I'm going to prioritize every day. A minimum of 8 hours of my sleep, a minimum of an hour on my health, a minimum hour with my family, a minimum amount of time, studying time, relativity, my finances, my faith. I want you to go ahead and identify your core values of non-negotiable behavior, regardless of the time, emotion, and value that changes. The circumstances will not waver you off of your divinity, off of your divine direction. All the details will then have a meaning of divinity, and time has a meaning of divinity. That means it's divine. It's in the right place at the perfect time, even though there's no evidence, even though the evidence may be contrary to where you think you want to be, you will continue to have the commitment and move in a meaningful direction. I want you to rank them, these activities, these core values, and I want you to reflect, remember, remind them, and ask yourself, at what time frame am I committing to these activities? Every day, every other day, every third day, every week, every month, every year, etc. Are these values visible today in my daily life, aligned with what I'm doing, saying, thinking, feeling, and believing? From this, we can create our own mission statements to act as your decision-making compass. My company is based off of several different things, but my mission is to empower over 1 billion people to be happy. Defining happiness is the ability to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. If somebody can mute themselves, I appreciate it, with the dog in the background. Thank you, Nick, if you can help me out. Awesome. Understanding that we're looking for the meaning, and we have the power to give the meaning to everything that we see, everything that we do, say, think, feel, and believe. The foundation of prioritization must be in place by knowing what's important to us every day, every other day, every third day, every week, every month, every year, etc. And aligning it with either non-circumstantial behavior. No matter what, I'm going to get this amount of sleep. No matter what, I'm going to spend time with my family. No matter what, I'm going to study my finance, my faith, time, relativity, etc. And if we do so, we now can build upon the antidote to overwhelmness and the procrastination that occurs. After we have a foundation, what we want to do is build a framework. So we have a foundation of prioritization. Now we'll build a framework in order to effectuate what and how and who and where and when. When we create a to-do list, it feels endless, and it should be, because you live in abundance, which means there's more than enough things to do. Say, think, feel, and believe. There's an infinite amount of things that you should have on your to-do list. And what happens is, if you don't understand a framework around the foundational list that you create, you will create decision fatigue. A clear framework removes the guesswork and helps you act with intention, not being overwhelmed or procrastinating. There's so many overwhelmed entrepreneurs that have adopted the Eisenhower matrix and the rule of three that is written in our Connected to Goodness book, the rule of three. More than happy, by the way, to send that along with the exercise and guide. So if you'd like the book, which discusses this specifically, the rule of three and the Eisenhower matrix, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. By organizing her tasks into what is urgent versus important, utilizing urgency as a subset, and committing to just 3 impact actions each day outside of our non-negotiable behavior. These are circumstantial behaviors based off of time, emotion, and value in its consistent changing role in our lives to regain control over the time that we're guaranteed, the 24 hours each day that we're guaranteed every single day of our life except for the last day. And it dramatically, exponentially will improve your productivity, your accessibility to others, and your ability to access what you want, and your gratitude, your ability to see detours as divine, to find the light, the love, and the lessons in every circumstance, outcome, consequence, or result that occurs, even if it's not evidentiary to where you want to be or better or supportive of it in your mind. Then you can go ahead and shorten the distance of the lapse of time that exists between a problem and a solution, because the only thing that exists between a problem and a solution, since they're one in an infinite universe of information, the only thing that exists to separate a problem to a solution is the amount of time, the lapse of time that it takes you in order to find the light, the love, and the lesson in it. Once you find the lesson in it, obviously a problem becomes a solution. Problems and solutions exist at the exact same time. We create the lapse of time between them. That is why we need to apply the Eisenhower matrix to our current activity list, the non-negotiable list. The negotiable list. The non-negotiables are going to be taken care of every day for about half your day: sleep and family and finance and faith, study of time, study of relativity, whatever is important to you. Now, within the context of the non-negotiable circumstantial behavior, we utilize the Eisenhower matrix to figure out if it's urgent and important, we do it now. If it's important, not urgent, we schedule it for later. If it's urgent, not important, we delegate it, minimize it. And if it's neither urgent or not important, we eliminate it from our list. This is a great tool in order to effectuate a framework. And then we're able to list the top 3 circumstantial negotiable behaviors for the next day. And if we just do our non-negotiables plus the 3 negotiables, we will have an exponentiality. 90% of our outcomes will be because of the non-negotiable behaviors and the 3 circumstantial behaviors. And you need to use time and be a student of your calendar to pay attention to and give attention to the non-negotiable behaviors, negotiable behaviors, the circumstantial behaviors, the non-circumstantial behaviors, in the alignment with the 24 hours that you're given today in your divine direction, which will prepare you for the divine detours, which are called circumstances, and utilize divine time in the context of the 24 hours that you're guaranteed each day of your life, except for the last day you'll be cheated, called man-made constructive time. 24 hours, only certainty of the future. Nobody else can guarantee me anything other than I'm going to have 24 hours tomorrow, unless it's the last day of my life. A prioritization framework will give you the exponentialities of the divine direction, divine time, and divine detours. It will give you the outcomes or better that you want, even if the evidence is contrary to what you want. It is a magic. We need a foundation. We need a framework. The third thing we need to understand is feelings, because we do say think, feel, and believe. And 3 of the activities or subsets of the activities that we have are in an emotional state. It's an emotional intelligence, a communication of emotion. Each emotion has a bioanatomical, biochemical, and an actual impact on what we're doing in the course of prioritizing things, because it's the emotions that interfere with our clarity, our balance, and our focus, our harmony, our ease, and can actually create more dis-ease, which will then inhibit us from being where we want to be or better. In the emotional intelligence and prioritization, effective prioritization isn't just about having a strategy. It's about having an emotional harmony, understanding how we react to fear with the need to be right or offended or separate or inferior or superior, anxious, frustrated, angry, guilty. And if we overcommit ourselves without harmony of time, without harmony of activity, without understanding circumstance and negotiable and non-negotiable behavior, we can interfere with our infinite amount of information and the regulation of that, and the infinite amount of energy and the regulation of that. So many leaders feel resentment and feel overwhelmed. They realize their inability to say no comes from a reaction to fear of disappointing others. Once we practice mindful refusal by using time, the best way to say no is not at this time, because now you're taking into consideration the option that you may change your mind. And we always want to keep the option that you may change your mind, because circumstances changes, time, emotion, and value changes the minute you make up your mind, whether it's written, implied, verbal, it doesn't matter. Once you come to a decision, once you come to an agreement, time, emotion, and value changes instantly. And most people don't realize that they're not giving themselves an alignment with the options, opportunities, and touches of favor to change the meaning and the mindset to the divine, according to the circumstances of the day, interest rates, stock market, weather, delays, etc. When we implement stress-free habits, reducing the interference with the 4 necessities, or I would say even 5 now, 5 necessities that God has indicated to us that we have to take care of, that we need to practice every day. 1, breathing. Breathing. If you don't breathe, you die. Why aren't you practicing breathing? 2, eating. If you don't eat, you die. Why don't you practice intentional eating? Drinking. If you don't drink, you die. Why don't you practice intentional drinking? Sleep, my favorite. I'm going to be in the Hall of Fame of Sleep. As many of you know, I will be known as the person who recovered and accessed more information and energy than anyone else at my age, putting me as a legacy, a legend of sleep. Me and the Disney character will be their first inductees into the Sleep Hall of Fame. But if you don't sleep, you die. Why aren't you intentional about your sleep? And then finally, meaningful movement, not just movement. If you don't move, you die. If you don't give meaning to that movement, you will die. You might live a long, empty myth of Sisyphus pushing a boulder to the top of the hill, just ever roll down like a tube, food in, food out. But you will not have ease. You will only have dis-ease. The ability to say no, not at this time, and manage that stress through the 5 necessities of life is essential for maintaining the focus, balance, clarity, and harmony that truly matters at ease as part of the infinite, abundant, unified system that we belong to, full of unlimited energy and unlimited information that could help us be more at ease and help other people be more at ease, creating a collective consciousness, a greater good, a higher vibration and frequency, a bigger neighborhood, which is why we created our network of people that want to help each other and know people that help each other. This is essential. Several different ways of what we can do to help us in that respect is we can script out what we're talking about, these abilities to say no, not at this time, or if you, on the other side, obviously it isn't the right time. When it is, let me know. Script it out. Practice it. Practice makes you comfortable and confident in what you say. And I want you comfortable and confident in saying no. If it's not aligned with your non-negotiable or negotiable behavior, with the circumstances of the day, not at this time, or call me when it is. Pause and breathe. Stop. Remind, remember, and recollect before reacting to that fear, to create more interference, to give it that dose of biochemical cortisol that creates disease. Every single reaction and continual reaction, everyone creates a 6 seconds of interference, and it takes 90 to 180 seconds to dissipate that interference. According to your individual genome and biome, it'll determine how you naturally could do it and how long it takes and what impact it has on you. but it will aggregate, compound, and exponentially grow in you. So even though you don't feel the stress that you're putting on yourself through these reactions of fear, eventually it will catch up because things happen slowly. And then all of a sudden, especially when it comes to your physical health, things will happen slowly. Then all of a sudden, either good physicality or bad physicality, good and bad determined by the direction you want to be and where you want to be, not what other people think, not what they think you think, not where you think they think you think, but instead, good and bad behavior will happen slowly. And then all of a sudden, add a mindfulness journaling practice is another suggestion that many people can utilize to reflect, remind, recollect the divine direction that they want to do, say, think, feel, and believe, to determine the prioritization of their non-negotiable, negotiable behavior. Remember the I ams and what am I doing to interfere with it? The next thing beyond the foundation, the framework, and the emotion, the interference, the dose of dis-ease that needs to dissipate to create the ease between the infinite information and energy that we all are part and parcel of, applying it to what we want, calling it, defining it as purpose or why, which is all around us. Quit separating and interfering with it. Is the understanding and the study of time. Previously mentioned, time has two different zones to it. It has man-made constructive time, the 24 hours that you're guaranteed every single day of your life, except for the last day, only certainty of the future. The only circumstance that you can guarantee tomorrow. All of the circumstances are circumstantial. But there's also infinite time. And we need to determine and prioritize how much of our activities in the 24 hours of each day are we going to dedicate to the infinite time versus the productivity, accessibility, and gratitude of the man-made constructive time, which is framed by our lifetime. The human experience, when we're born, we're given this meat suit, we're given a body. It's here to learn lessons. The lessons will keep on coming till we learn them. We will forget every single lesson that we ever learned, but as we know, we're part of a system of infinite information, so we'll remember, remind, and recollect all that information and utilize the infinite energy in order to facilitate our progress, our growth in the divine direction of where we want to be or better, not where other people want to be, not what's missing, not what we don't have. And so time is a key prioritization metric that we can rely on in the human consciousness to see that progress. If you want to know, am I getting better at not feeling guilty? Well, then look at how much time you feel guilty each day and spend less time feeling guilty tomorrow. It's not rocket science. You can even earn more money, but you can't earn more time. It's 24 hours. And where people get confused is determining and prioritizing my activity is for the divine or is it for man-made constructive time? The way you spend the 24 hours each day that you're guaranteed, except for the last day of your life, determines the results that you get in this life and the results that you're going to get in the infinite. And if you ask me, well, how can you prove there's an infinite? I can't. So stop wasting my time. The only reason I believe in the infinite is I have searched the world, talked to the world's biggest and best, the greatest thought leaders, authors, speakers, entrepreneurs, billionaires, millionaires, celebrities, athletes, and entertainment, and they all come up with the best option. There's something bigger than me, an infinite, abundant, unified system of thought, an infinite amount of information, an infinite amount of energy, an infinite amount of love, and I'm part of it. I am the son of God. I am part of it, a co-creator. This is just best option. Now, do they try to separate themselves by different religions and sects of each religion and individuality that just doesn't make sense to me? Absolutely, they do that. But I agree with them all. Because I know one thing is the best option. If anybody can give me a better option than believing in something that big that loves, protects, promotes me, and perfects me more than my mom, please give me the option. I'll take it. But nobody's been able to do it. Every religious text I read, every philosophical, theoretical text that I read, spiritual text that I read, it all comes up with the same best option that I'm giving you today, and relying on the infinite time zone to determine and prioritize my time by, is this going to be in alignment with my divine time of where I want to be in this lifetime, from the time my bag of embodiment is started and finishes, or is it in the infinite side of things, the unified, abundant system of thought that I belong to? There's so many business owners that realize that 80% of all their revenue comes from 20% of their efforts. They begin using calendar and blocking time to focus in the man-made construct, in their divine direction, for greater high yield activities. They stop wasting time on these interferences that have nothing to do with their man-made human experience of where they want to be or better personally, experientially, giving and receiving lives. And when they do this, the intentionality of what they do, say, think, feel, and be creates the income growth that they were looking for the for time. And it also creates more man-made constructive time to dedicate to the divine, the infinite, which then exponentially helps on the other side of it as well. It's a self-fulfilling infinite loop of expansion, abundance, and love. Time is the most limited and valuable asset in the human experience. Prioritization is how you protect, promote, and maximize it. You need to identify the different activities that you have each day, and then those that have the greatest results aligned with where you want to be or better, make them non-negotiable every day, every second day, every third day, every week, every month, or every year. And it will create more than 80% of your results. Utilizing the other time for the divine. Block out this dedicated time on the calendar. Be a student of what you do, say, think, feel, and believe in the divine time, in the divine direction. And all the prioritization mechanisms will help you utilize to create these divine detours without evidence or evidence contrary to where you want to be. Treat those time blocks as non-negotiable meetings. Utilize, review, study it, pay attention, give intention to it. Notating intention is what you do, say, think, feel, and be in alignment with where you want to be or better. Understand, should this be reduced, delegated, or removed through the Eisenhower matrix or the not the 3-no rule, but I'm happy to give you that as well. David@dmelter.com, the rule of 3. Utilizing this system of foundation, framework, emotion, and time, we can finally utilize the tool of prioritization, the antidote of prioritization, this dynamic prioritization. Your life and your mission, your divine direction are constantly changing. The minute you make that decision, time, emotion, and value changes. Your priorities should as well. You need to have these 4 things in order to stick to the change, not to the rigid plan. If you want to make God laugh, come up with a rigid plan. Without reflection, it will lead you off course. God will try to use detours to guide you onto the course of your best self. Even if you're working hard, it doesn't mean you're going to get to where you want to be or better if you're resisting it. A leader reviews their weekly progress every Sunday, adjusts it based on what's working, what's not working, what they like, what they don't like, what they know, what they don't know, to open up new options, opportunities, and touches of favor in an abundant system of options, opportunities, and touches of favor with information or energy. And these need to align in their daily activities, second day, third day, week, month, year, etc., with their divine direction. And now the detours that look punishing and no evidence or evidence is contrary now look promoting. This allows them to stay flexible like water and focused in harmony, even during unpredictable circumstances that are significant. The only circumstance that's not predictable is time. That is predictable is time. 24 hours a day, guaranteed, except the last day of your life. Prioritization is not a one-time practice. It's not a one-time decision. It's an ongoing practice of reflection, reminding, remembering, and recollecting to the infinite, abundant, unified system of infinite information and infinite energy that we are adjusting and regulating in order to facilitate ease within the context of the man-made human experience, which is dictated and dependent upon the 24 hours each day, except the last day of your life. So we want to make sure that we are setting aside, we are non-negotiable to review our time and what's important to us so that we can create our priorities. Let's know what we like, what we don't like, what's working, what's not working, what we know and what we don't know. And then understand a realignment, a pre-prioritization, a prioritization and a post-prioritization system that is based off of this dynamic tool that is utilized in order to be blessed, not feel overwhelmed, to be blessed, not procrastinate. Utilize the evaluation of new tasks and opportunities according to the circumstances and make other activities non-circumstantial by making them non-negotiable per day, second day, third day, week, month, year. We need to be opening to expanding, not pivoting. Utilizing what we've learned in the past in order to effectuate a new meaning to align with where we want to be or better in the future, notating it's that meaning that will limit us, not anything else of our self-image, our imagination, and we never will overachieve our own self-image, our own imagination. You don't have to lose sight of your divine direction. If you lose sight of your divine direction, the detours will be harsh, not divine. It will be punishing, not promoting. And you will miss out on the divine timing that is given to all of us as we are part and parcel to it. The last lesson within the context of prioritization is the role of delegation and collaboration, both essential to my mission of empowering over 1 billion people to be happy, creating a neighborhood of people at the same frequency, the same vibration, to help one another and know people to help one another. This rule of delegation and collaboration to try everything yourself isn't sustainable or effective. Great prioritization includes knowing that we can only do what we can do. We need to distribute the opportunities, options, and touches favor to those that are most capable of doing so, and then execute and prioritize the ones that we are, and then even redistribute the ones that we find through the process of time, emotion, and value changing that we're not capable of prioritizing. And we build support around us every day by joining people that want to help us and know people that can help us, and vice versa. So many directors spend so much time on administrative work, and so much of it can be delegated, collaborated. So many options, leads, opportunities are wasted because we don't deliver them to our community. Every time you turn something down, why don't you have someone that's there to distribute it to them, and they can redistribute it, and so on and so forth, until it finds its perfect partner in this collaborative, unified, abundant system, which is why I created our private networking group. Not only will I give you my coaching and advice and my introductions, but now we have thousands of people with different capabilities, different skills, different knowledge, and different desires in order to facilitate a greater good and create more of an opportunity in a monetary way. Just with a simple memorialization, a reminder, a remember, a recollection of we're part of this neighborhood trying to help each other. We need to capture all of this, all of these options, opportunities, and touches of favor, distribute them to the people internally and externally within our neighborhood who suits and is most capable of creating value. And then determine and prioritize the opportunities and options and touches of favor that we have beyond that, and redistribute them utilizing pre, post, and prioritization methodologies. Productivity isn't about doing it all, isn't about finishing it all, isn't about completing it all. It's about the harmony that exists within your neighborhood, your community of people that want to help each other, know people to help each other, and maximize those opportunities for the mission. And the commissions will follow in the recollection, reminders, and remembrances, the modern day handshake that our private networking group sets forth. By the way, if you're not part of it, email me. We would love to have you. It's guaranteed to be a profit center. You can't see any reason why you wouldn't want to join us. We got hundreds of people that will give you a reference of how great this neighborhood and frequency is. You'll get to come to all the different activities that we have, 200 of them every year or more. We need to empower others besides empowering ourselves to empower others. And the idea of delegation and collaboration, the distribution and execution and prioritization of opportunities is essential to a collective exponential growth of abundance. Understand your capabilities and other people's capabilities. Have modern day handshakes of people that have memorialized what they want to do and how they want to help and compensate other people for helping. The must-do, delegate, and eliminate approach is great in the effect of collaboration in the capture, execute, distribute, prioritize, and redistribute system. Choose one task each week and delegate it to somebody you trust. Get into the practice. Get comfortable. The only way that we get comfortable and confident in doing anything is practice it. Do it every day, every second day, every third day, or every week, or every month, or every year. The more practice, the better that you will be, I promise, because you become more comfortable and confident, which means you'll be more at ease, which means you're utilizing the infinite information, infinite energy that exists already, that you're part and parcel of in a unified, abundant system of thought. Identify the people beforehand, have them be part of the new. Join the groups that best facilitate this. Join us, join others. We don't care. Just elevate and distribute. Stop holding on to things and losing them because you think you need to do them or have them all to yourself. That is the scarcest and most interfering of all. As we look at the prioritization foundation framework, the emotions, as we look at the key of time and the dynamic of prioritization and the role of delegation and collaboration, the power of intentional prioritization becomes clear. Prioritization is more than a productivity tool. It is the commitment to being alive, to feeling alive, to living and applying your why. When you align your actions with your values and goals, you'll begin to move through life with clarity, balance, and focus, confidence, and comfortability. You will move through life with meaning, not just movement. You'll stop being so busy working, you forget to make money. Instead of reacting to everything that comes our way, let us respond with intention, utilizing all the foundation and framework and emotions and time and collaboration and delegation to create and co-create. Stop chasing what's urgent and start investing in what's truly important. This shift will create a space for expansion to your better self, your better place, your better position, your better situation, your better people. Doing your best, learning lessons, having fun each day in the course of your human experience. Achievements versus deeper fulfillment. Ultimately, the power of prioritization lies in its ability to put you back in control of your time, energy, and direction through humility. Remember, you're either humble or you're about to be, and you no longer have to do it all yourself. You are part and parcel of an infinite, abundant, unified system of thought. You just have to do what is important to you in alignment with where you want to be or better, regardless of the evidence. Notating it won't be the mistakes that you make, but just the lack of commitment that will stop you from getting to where you want to be or better. You'll have to utilize this wisdom and faith, the foundation framework, the emotions, the time, the delegation, the prioritization, the collaboration in order for success to occur. Because success isn't found in how much you do, it's found in doing the right things at the right time for the right reasons. This has been our Prioritization for Success training. If you'd like the guide exercise, my book, or any of the other things that we've discussed today, if you want to join our private networking group, and just email me, david@dmeltzer.com. If you'd like to join us at the Masters, at Nashville, in New York at the NASDAQ, or in Denver, Boston, and then Denver in the next week, go ahead and email me, david@dmeltzer.com. We are blessed to be here every Friday for over 26 years. And I'm blessed to have this group, this community, this network of people that want to help each other and know people that help each other. Especially blessed to have my team, especially the Nick of Wam, the well-oiled machine. All right, my brother, you need to reset the room. It's time to take some questions. Oh, did I lose him?
Mastering Prioritization for Success training. We are opening things up for the second half, so that means it is time for some Q&A. If you are joining us online, as we are streaming everywhere, of course, please make sure to put your questions in the chat. And if you're live here on Clubhouse in the Breakfast with Champions, if you're in the audience, please use the hand icon to request to join the stage. And if you are already on stage, please just put a quick note in the chat, and I will be happy to pass it over your way. Now, David, I'm actually getting, for the first question here, I'm getting a question in the chat on Clubhouse from Bradford, and he's asking, as our minds and bodies change with age, how do you identify the need to change or alter non-negotiables, and And how do you stay creative and open to needing new non-negotiables?
Yeah, well, what happens is you need to determine your non-negotiable behavior first. Then, according to the circumstances of the day, you will take the feedback from negotiable behaviors, and as they become more important to you, they then can change into non-negotiable behaviors. So, the system itself of time allows us to prioritize the things that we need to do every day, every second day, every third day, every week, every month, and every year. And then the tool of prioritization by what's important, not urgent, urgency being a subset, allows us to see the clues and the patterns of future non-negotiable behaviors. So the non-negotiable behaviors are created by the negotiable behaviors as we start to indicate in the divine direction of where we want to be or better certain patterns and necessities to prioritize our improvement, notating that the improvement of exponentiality of outcomes only occurs by the repetitive nature of what we do. 2 minutes a day doing something's worth 2 hours on a Saturday. I use the example of Spanish as the best thing to show or illustrate this, that those kids that study 15 minutes of Spanish a day are guaranteed an A. The kids who study 15 hours on Sunday, they rarely get an A. And so taking into the understanding of physics, quantum physics, and metaphysics, the continuum of time in the reconciliation of the man-made construct time, the 24 hours that you're guaranteed every day of your life except for the last day, and the infinite time, that the repetition of non-negotiable is the items, the things that will best give you the application of why throughout your human experience. So that's why I make non-negotiable my sleep, my health, my finance, my family, my faith. The study of time and the study of relativity help me to transition the understanding of the non-negotiable and negotiable behavior. The non-negotiables are formed by the repetition, the clues, the patterns, and the choices I make each and every day in circumstance in order to facilitate what's most important to me. Once I know it's a foundational activity that's most important to me, like my sleep, my health, my family, my finance, my faith, the study of time and relativity, then I'll make it a non-negotiable behavior and then determine, is it non-negotiable every day, every hour, every minute, every second? Is it non-negotiable every other day, every third day, every week, every month, every year, and so on and so forth. And so I create a framework around those foundational principles in order to effectuate the emotion, energy, emotion, and then utilize time again in order to facilitate the productivity, accessibility, and gratitude in order to facilitate greater capability and usage of the infinite energy, the infinite information, and the infinite everything for everyone in order to facilitate the greater good and the progress that we want in our lives, dictated by the lessons that we learn through the values of gratitude to find those lessons, forgiveness in order to forgive ourselves for the perception of what we think other people think or what they think I think, and the lessons that we perceived from that. And then accountability to say, what did we do to be responsible to attract this? To what do we do to participate in the perception of what other people think or what they think we think? And then ask ourselves, okay, what are we supposed to remember, recollect, or remind the lesson in order to facilitate the acceleration, growth, and expansion of where we want to be or better? So understanding that the non-negotiable behavior is formed by negotiable behavior and seeking the patterns through the clues and the choices that we make each and every day. Does that sound fair?
Sounds more than fair. Thank you so much. And thank you, Bradford, for the incredible question. Next update, we have Mr. Brian Swift here live on Clubhouse, who is ready to rock and roll. Mr. Swift, happy Friday, my friend. The mic is all yours.
Happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for this amazing opportunity. Dave, you provide this amazing framework revolving around, values, non-negotiables, prioritization, delegation, and yet, as we apply these, there's times when we fall out of this framework. You coach and mentor so many people. What is the biggest reason that people fall out of it, and what do you do to help them get back into this amazing framework?
Yeah, the reason they fall out of it is because the simple things to do are simple not to do, and that the human nature is not to do the simple things, regardless. So to that end, what we really want to do is understand that we are human. And so as much as we're, including me, not prioritizing where we want to be or better at all times with the negotiable and non-negotiable behavior, that we're human. So we don't want to stack the losses. So I use the same construct in order to facilitate not spending too much time in the losses. So when circumstances arrive that I could not effectuate my non-circumstantial behavior. So for whatever reason, I did not spend a minimum amount of time on my health because I allowed the circumstances of the day. I took a risk in my travel schedule that if it didn't work out the way I would not have. So in other words, I'm learning the lesson that it's not non-negotiable if you don't plan a different flight. If you're willing to take that risk, then it's really not non-negotiable. It's still negotiable. And so then I just spend minutes and moments in the interference, in the separation, in the loss. And so what my philosophy mindset is when I slip outside of non-negotiable behavior, I double down on that behavior and make it a double priority so I don't stack L's. One time it's a mistake, two times you start a new habit. And I don't want to start a new habit of not being non-negotiable in my health, in my sleep, in my family, in my finance, in my faith, in my study of relativity and time. And so I double down when that happens, and it does happen to me, right? Everything that I talk about isn't certainty. I'm not a robot. I'm a human being, which is a lot of pressure sometimes when people think too highly of you and they're like, oh my God, he swore. Oh my God, he did this. He's a hypocrite. He's not who he says he is. No, I'm who I say I am most of the time. And just like you are most of the time, I'm just more of the time than I used to be who I am, not interfering with it or what other people think I am. It's a terrible energy gap. And people will attack you. And when they attack me, I thank them for being such a great teacher, because anybody that's attacking me is a teacher. They're a teacher in my life and they're a protector of me. And I hope you understand the depths of that. Maybe we'll do a training on that, of the people that disagree with you, attack you, challenge you, stab you in the back, that manipulate you, lie to you, cheat you, deny you. They're teachers. They're here to teach you and protect you. So say thank you to them when you find the lesson of what is taught or caught by them. Brian, thank you for illustrating the humanness of this very rigid foundation and framework in its appearance, but it's actually very adaptable and human in its nature.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Love the question. I agree. And remember, things are moving too slow until they move swift.
I love it. Things happen very slowly until they happen swiftly. Very good, Mr. Swiftly. I'll talk to you soon. Be a Swiftly and join Brian Swift. Thank you, brother.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brian, as always. And David, carrying on here with some incredible Q&A. I have a question coming from Zeely here on Clubhouse, and she's asking, how do we know and find our divine time?
Okay, so you don't find it, and you don't know it. You just utilize it. So the faith that is required, because there's no evidence of divine time, and a lot of times evidence is contrary to divine time. For me, I use faith, best option faith, that there's divine time, that there's an infinite amount of time I'm being protected, promoted, loved, and perfected by the all information, all energy that exists, my God, protecting, promoting, loving, perfecting me. And I know that the man-made constructive lapse of time that exists between the problem and solutions are mine in the man-made construct of time. They're not divine. And so it's just a matter of time, divine time, to understand the problem, the detour, to make it divine by finding the lesson, the light, the love in it, by utilizing gratitude to do so, forgiveness, and accountability in order to facilitate the inspiration, the in-spirit, the effective communication between me and the abundant unified system of thought that I belong to. And so it is faith that allows us to use divine time, to believe in divine time. It is only faith because there'll never be any evidence, or the evidence will be contrary to its existence of the infinite nature of God, the all-powerful, all-knowing, omniscient, unified, abundant, infinite system of more than enough of everything for everyone. And if you can't get down with having faith, whether it's religious in its utilization for you, philosophical, theoretical, or spiritual, that's up to you. But I can't think of a better option to use than wisdom and faith to shorten the distance of resistance between me and where I want to be. Knowing that it's the application of why, of getting to where I want to be, the enjoyment of what I don't like, don't love, other people don't like or love, in a consistent manner every day, in a persistent manner without quitting, in the pursuit of where I want to be or better, my potential, not other people's potential, not what other people think, not what I want other people to think, not what's missing, not what I don't have. And so understanding the divinity that exists between direction, time, and detours is only a matter of faith and wisdom to shorten that distance of resistance. It's a review process, and prioritization is the tool so that we don't feel overwhelmed or don't procrastinate, that we continually to do our best, learn lessons, and have fun to progress, expand. All of these can be supported by physics, quantum physics, and metaphysics, by applied mathematics, by science. But in the end, there's no proof. There's no proof because the assumptions that are made are based off of assumptions that have been made and a meaning that has been given those assumptions in order to figure out our future, our self-image, and our imagination. And we know that it's limited comparatively to the infinite. And therefore, we're stuck into this matrix of understanding that is only relying upon two things, wisdom and faith, in this human experience, this journey that we're on. And so please use your wisdom and faith in order to effectuate divine direction, divine detours in divine time. What a great question. What a great insight. Hopefully somebody out there is understanding what I'm saying. If not, please join us, join our group. You can ask questions, get my help, get an introduction to me and all the thousands of people in our group. We'd love to have you. All you got to do, if you want the exercises, guides, the books from today, is david@dmeltzer.com. If you want to join our private networking group, david@dmeltzer.com. If you just want to show up, we're doing something every single day, in person, on the phone, via email, and media, traditional and social media. We got podcasts, TV shows, movies. We have all type of meetup, holding court, speeches. We have Q&A sessions, ask me anything. We have trainings. All you got to do is reach out to me, david@dmeltzer.com. We'd love to have you join our neighborhood. All right, Nick of Guam, we got a 5-minute warning. What do you got for me?
Yes, sir. I'm going to kick it over to Mr. Brenton Nichols for the next and potentially last question of the day. Brent, real quick. Thank you. Thank you, David. I love you guys. Thank you for, the consistent, persistent pursuit. That empty mile concept helps so much with our non-negotiable behavior. My question is this. Relationship building takes a ton of time. So where does that fit in the schedule of how to manage time? Because that's where I'm feeling maybe I could use some help. So how do you manage relationship building time, David?
All right. So you've already started out by limiting yourself. So you've said relationships take time. Well, does that time have a quantitative analysis to it? Why not practice building relationships in a shorter amount of time by using strategies in person, on the phone? Can you mute yourself? You have too much background.
Oh, that's me? Sorry, man. Yeah.
All right. All right. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Brent. So notice in the context of this question, the limitations that exist. Already an assumption. It takes time to build relationships. No shit, Sherlock. It takes time to do everything. It's how much time does it take? And if we practice something, the order of practice is that it takes us less time and we're more statistically successful, not only in efficiencies, but effectiveness in what we do. And so I would suggest that relationships are extremely important, especially when the concept of where we want to be in a memorialization of a group of people, a network of people, a neighborhood of people that want to help each other and know people that can help each other. To build relationships takes time, but it doesn't mean it has to take a lot of time. So when we start practicing, how do we build relationships in person? How do we build relationships on the phone? How do we build relationships via email? How do we build relationships through traditional media and social media? And how much time does that take? And how can we get better to have stronger relationships in less amount of time? I use the open-minded, open-ended question guide in order to facilitate the efficiency, effectiveness, and statistical success in relationship building. Knowing that most of the time why people think it takes so time to build relationships is they're trying to build relationships with a closed mind at that time. They don't take the easiest and fastest way to building relationship is to find an open mind, because open minds have open hearts and open hands. Open hearts and open hands are easier to have relationships with. So number one, and I'm happy to send you the open-minded, open question guide to everybody so that you can facilitate building relationships or closing deals or stimulating interest, whatever it is you want to do within the context of stimulating interest, transition interest, sharing a vision, managing, develop a vision, and thriving relationships, creating more relationships, people buying from you, but also selling for you for life. And so within the context of utilizing an open mind, number one, because it takes 1,000 times the time and effort to re-engineer a closed mind. Why are you wasting your time when the total addressable community in person, on the phone, via email, media is billions of people? So utilizing the open and open-minded question guide in order to facilitate knowing what are you doing today, what do you like about it, what don't you like about it, what's working, what's not working, what do you know and what you don't know, and providing value in a very efficient manner creates a bond. It's a relationship to an open mind, open heart, open hands. And then utilizing a system to capture that relationship, to be able to distribute that relationship, to execute on that relationship or redistribute that relationship within the network of people that want to help you or know people that can help you, that will buy from you and sell for you. Once again, building the community of relationships of people that are all aligned at frequency and neighborhood to improve what they're doing today by helping one another and allowing their mission to be aligned so the commissions follow. It's a very interesting thing how we limit ourselves and say it takes so much time. Does it? Or are you just trying to work with closed minds, closed hearts, and closed hands? Are you not methodical and strategic and intentional about the usage of your relationships in person, on the phone, via email, media, traditional, and social? I can help guide you to give you double the amount of people as fast as you can. Double the amount of relationships as fast as you can, aligned with your mission and theirs. Creating this neighborhood of people buying from each other, selling for each other for life, exponentially providing outcomes. Start telling yourself it takes no time to build meaningful relationships when I utilize the open-minded, open question guide. Please reach out to me for the open-minded, open question guide. What a great way to end. I will see you in New York, Brett. Oh no, you're going on a ski trip, but everyone else I'll see in New York. I'll be there, man. Oh, yeah, right on. Well, we'll see you April 15th like everyone else. Yeah, April 15th, we'll be supporting the Napoleon Hill Foundation. I'm the chairman of the Napoleon Hill Institute. We will be, like I said, come visit us at the Masters, at Nashville for the Firewalk and dinner, in New York City for the NASDAQ and dinner, in Denver for that event, speaking engagements. Boston and then Denver. Just reach out to me, for goodness sake. David@dmeltzer.com. Get the exercises and guides from today's prioritization training. Get the rule of three, get the open-minded, open question template. Just email me, David@dmeltzer.com. Nick of WAM, we're 1 minute over, so please, and thank everyone for their patience. Have a great day. Thank you, Nick.
Absolutely, always a pleasure.
Thank you, everyone. It's such a blessing to be here. Notate my email is right there, David@dmeltzer.com. If you want to text me to get invited to the 200 things we got going on, if you want to join our private networking group, please text me 949-298-2905, 949-298-2905. If you don't want invitations, don't text me. Anyways, have a wonderful week. We'll see you once again. The Masters, Nashville, New York, Boston, and Denver. These are the cities we're going to be in the next week. Over 200 cities a year. Augusta, Nashville, New York, Boston, and Denver. Thank you so much, everyone. Remember, be kind to your future self, and do good deeds. Hit it, Gigi.
Welcome to Office Hours, hosted by legendary sports executive, entrepreneur, and investor David Meltzer, where the brightest entrepreneurial minds in business, sports, and entertainment get together to talk about success, failure, and everything in between.
I have no self-worth tied up in Gary Vee or Gary Vaynerchuk, the entrepreneur. My self-worth is fully and utterly 100% attached to how I treat human beings.
And I think love is the answer to everything as well. Love and compassion and justice and fairness, and which are all aspects of love.
The most important question anybody can ask is, what would I do and love every day, even if I were failing?
Take a deep dive into the mind of some of the world's most impactful guests.
And the reality is, life here on Earth is very short compared to eternity, and we don't spend a lot of time thinking about eternity and what that looks like.
People get new computers, they get new iPhones, they upgrade their apps. But when's the last time we upgraded, the technology that's created all of these things?
So I always challenge my audience and people I talk to about sometimes is there a door in your life you have to close for other doors to open?
To share their strategies and tools to dominate their respective fields.
When we repeat anything, whether it's a constructive good pattern or a destructive bad pattern, our brain reinforces it just like a muscle.
All a belief is a story that you've said over and over again. Maybe you caught it from someone else or you had a specific experience.
Know who you are, know what you want, and make adjustments trying to get there.
David Meltzer hosts Office Hours.